Good evening and welcome back. Today we have Tim Key and Nicole of T&K Events, travel tips from Girlfriend's Fly Travel Club, and a special segment of Talk It Up with Michelle, in which we discuss what's evolving and what's trending nowadays. So to kick it off, here's the host of Stage 729, Michelle Sanders. Michelle?
Evening, TV audience, and welcome back to Stage 729. We would like to take a moment to welcome one of our viewer responses from Lorraine Carter, who follows us on Facebook. Lorraine's comment: have a great show with loads of information, and does it air on DirecTV? Well, Lorraine, let me tell you, I'm not sure if we air on DirecTV or not, but I can tell you, you can go out and catch us on YouTube if you look for Stage 729, and then you can also follow us on Instagram and on Facebook as always. We appreciate your responses. Continue to send them, and you might just get on the air on Stage 729. Now, let's talk it up. Welcome back to Stage 729, and to talk it up, to my left here, we have Miss Sabrina Brooks. Welcome back to the stage, Sabrina.
Thank you.
And another friend of stage, Crystal Stewart.
Thank you.
And our very own announcer, John Tay.
Thank you very much for having me, Michelle.
Oh, thank you guys. Well, let's get into it. As you know, LL Cool J on January 21st received his star on the Walk of Fame. Now, what we didn't know while we were talking and discussing this, that you have to apply in order to get the star. We want to educate you on how the stars get on the Walk of Fame. First of all, this came from time.com, so I'm going to read you the list, and then we're going to commentate on what everyone thinks. First of all, you have to produce something iconic. Second, you have to promise that you want a star. Third, you have to raise $30,000 while the selection committee, and then fight for prime real estate, and we're going to explain that in just a moment. Throw a massive party, and then remain on your best behavior. All right, guys, what did you think about that? That's how you get a star on the walk.
Well, I personally think that it's one heck of a list. To remain on your best behavior whilst doing all of those things, it's really challenging because think about it, it's LL Cool J. He was referred to as a really big sex symbol in his time. So, you know, he's already had that, I guess, that predetermined notion, I guess, that, you know, he's an animal and he parties and you know. And then he was a successful rapper, and so for him to pull off that, I think, was an accomplishment. Mm-hmm. So
now he has been in some movies now. Y'all have seen him in some movies.
Yes,
he's been in movies, and so he's done kind of a couple iconic things. I mean, the lips, I think, are the major ones. That's iconic for us. But, you know, that's something different. That's something different. But also, another thing that we found out while researching this is that, you know, you don't automatically get picked or selected for getting your walk or getting your star on the walk. So, I mean, what do you guys really feel? I mean, Bill Cosby, his star was allegedly taken away for, I guess, not having great behavior. You know, is that, you know, something that you guys think is fair? You know, when you pay, you raise the money to get the star.
I think that they should actually be issuing a refund. You know, you pay for a service and you pay for your star. So since they've removed it without, with just an allegation, rather than him actually being convicted of something, I think it's just completely wrong. So his sponsors, who actually paid the $30,000, should be issued their refund, or he should be given his star back. I mean, it's services rendered.
Well, I do know, I want to tell you guys, if you ever get out to Hollywood, you have a chance to see LL Star. It's right in front of Mike Tyson's star. And then also for 2016, I want you to know Tracy Morgan and Kevin Hart are coming up for their star as well. So, yes. And also another tidbit, Bill Cosby, the Pennsylvania federal judge dismissed the defamation lawsuit against the comedian. So I just wanted to let you guys know that part. Yes. Now, let's go to the big hot topic, which is Jada Pinkett Smith. But we're going to hold for just a moment, and we're going to come right back to discuss that issue. Hello, and welcome back to Stage 729. Well, we left off discussing Jada Pickett Smith. She got on Facebook and made a comment about the Academy Awards, and it made a big stir around the community. So, my question to the panel: 1, was that bringing awareness? 2, was that because her husband didn't get a knob? Or 3, was it just to be aware of the problem that's going on in Hollywood? So, is it getting out of hand or what? What do you feel?
Well, I believe that Jada was justified because she, like all the rest of us, has the right to, feel as if she can be discriminated against. A lot of the public are saying that it was because her husband was snubbed from the nominations. Because, we're in a country where speculation gains a lot of momentum. There's no telling where this actually is going to head off to. I think that if she really wanted to feel, if she really felt that it was because of Will Smith, then she would have just stated that, So I can agree as to why she's bringing awareness because of the diversity issue. I mean, and it's not just blacks. There were no Latinos nominated either.
Nope.
And I'm pretty sure there were other, ethnicities or people of different nationalities who, created really good movies and did really good jobs at their craft. And they didn't get, a nomination either. So.
Well, I do agree it should be diverse. I mean, you should have a diverse panel when you're viewing movies and any type of television shows. That's automatic. That's the only way you get a fair chance to make sure that you have the right people getting nominated and make it fair for everybody.
Right.
What do you think about it? I mean, I know we had discussed this a while back, so what do you feel?
Well, first of all, I don't think she made the announcement because her husband wasn't nominated. Jada stands strong on her opinions, and she can become very opinionated, but it's all because of how she feels as far as how the community will be affected.
Right.
So I don't think it had anything to do with her husband not being nominated. But I tell you this, one of the things she said was that when you are watching the Oscars and you don't see your kind up there getting some type of a nomination or an award, then that doesn't bring a sense of assurance that, okay, well, you know what, I see other people like me, making a difference in this world and being successful in this field. So when you do that 2 years straight, I think it has to hit home, and you have to stand up and stand strong and, voice your opinion about it, and you have to do it openly. You have to let everybody know that, okay, this is what's going on. And it's not fair to the individuals that are watching this, because our kids, are looking at this and saying,
That's
hey,
true.
this is an icon.
Well, speaking of icons, what do you feel about Chris Rock? Should he or should he not do the Oscars?
Well, I am actually proud of Chris Rock for not letting this deter him from doing the Oscars. And then one comment I'm hearing is that he will be addressing this. Now, you guys know, if you know Chris Rock,
This is
gonna
true.
be delicious.
This is true.
It is.
This is
So
true.
I'm excited about him still standing on that task and then making it known that he will be speaking about it.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
you've
so-
heard it, and we're going to be right back to talk about Stacey Dash. All right, the elephant in the room, Stacey Dash. All right, first of all, is she missing the point? I mean, you guys tell me. I mean, I was kind of appalled because I love the show Single Ladies. Everybody knows I'm a Single Ladies fan. But this kind of, I don't know, just made me have a different feel for Stacey. I know it's a character. What do you guys think?
I think Stacey Dash missed the mark, 100%. To think that because we have a BET Awards and such means that either we want segregation or we want integration. There is no way to identify BET as a segregation. It is a way to promote minorities that are doing things in the music industry and the broadcasting and things of that nature. So it's not to say that we're segregating ourselves. It's just to say that right now there is no other station that's recognizing us at that capacity. So why not take the initiative to show that we are doing some positive in the community to give us a positive outlook.
I agree.
And the thing of it is too is that as African Americans, at some point we have to stand up and, for so long, BET has been there to, promote the African American artists and our work. But it was only created because we were never recognized on the Oscars anyway. We've always taken back seat. So it's time for African Americans as celebrities, as just, civilians, just regular individuals, to take a stand and say, okay, it's enough of this. It's enough of the segregation. It's enough of us not being recognized. And it's enough of us having to create our own just to be able to be recognized. So I completely agree with Sabrina that she did miss the mark. At some point, we have to stop wearing our rose-colored glasses and see the world for what it is. And, the world overlooks minorities. The world overlooks other nationalities because, should I say it?
This is an afternoon TV program, so we're going to hold that thought. John Tay, before we go on to our next little segment here, go ahead. You want to chime in on Stacey Dash? What's your input on that one?
I just think that Stacey Dash was very opinionated with what she said. She could have come off as ignorant as the next person, without actually, looking deep within the facts or looking at the whole picture in its full perspective. At the same time, again, she's entitled to her opinion, but I think she may have come from a place of ignorance, but who hasn't? I have to just go ahead and agree with you two ladies.
It's more like watch what you say.
Yes, basically.
It's more like watch what you say. It offends a lot of people.
Because let's just be real, for Stacey Dash to say what she said, she collected a check from BET.
Yeah, that's true.
She's gained recognition, or she's had her part in such things that recognizes people of color.
That's true.
So maybe she should watch what she says and how she says it.
Right. Right.
But,
well,
and I think it goes with when you know better, you do better. So when she knows better, I believe she will do better.
Well, on a positive note, congratulations to Keisha Knight Pulliam from The Cosby Show. She got married, and now she is Mrs. Ed Hartwell. If you want to congratulate her, you can go to #BET Breaks. Let's talk about politics. What are we going to tell the viewers on this last little roundup? What are we going to tell them about voting? Last words.
I would tell the young people to become educated, become familiar with the candidates, seek them out, and see what's really right for you. There have been so many years compounded of people working so very hard just to get us to where we are today. The fact that people of color or women couldn't vote for so long means so much to the people in the past. And again, I wouldn't want to shirk what they did for granted. I would want to become more aware. Coming from a person I guess I'm on the younger side, so I made it my business when I turned 18 to go get my voter's registration, and I made it my business to look up who was going to be elected or who was thinking about running in the next election. This was back in 2006. So I wanted to know what Barack was about. I wanted to know what Bush was about, or whoever the case may have been. So I would tell young people to go out there and get educated, become familiar.
All right, you ladies have any final words on that?
Well, I just want to say that for the past 8 years, our young people have been doing really well with going out and showing up at the polls. Our age group 18 to 24 in 2008, they increased from 47.1% to 55.4% showing up at the polls. And then again in 2012, we had another jump in which our African American 18 to 24 went out, represented at the polls, and jumped to 66%. So we just need to continue to educate our young people and continue to educate even the older people, because as Jante said, at one point African Americans weren't allowed to vote. We were beaten, we were hosed down, we were jailed because we wanted to have a voice. And now we have an opportunity to have a voice, and we really need to make our presence known. And what you don't support, you can't complain about.
Well, on that note, we're going to turn it over to Sabrina. She has the word of today.
Yes, I do. Okay. So, Michelle, I want to ask you questions. So, do you feel that you are strong in material matters?
I'm very strong. I don't like materialistic stuff too much, but I'm
Not
very
materialistic, just material matters.
Material matters?
Matters.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you determined?
Oh, yeah.
Can you be a little stubborn sometimes, though?
Definitely.
Okay. All right. Do you have good business ability?
I try.
Yes, you do. All right. Are you a good worker?
Yes.
Steady, practical?
Yes.
All right. Do you build responsibilities well? Do you follow
Yes, I do.
through?
Yes, I
Do
do.
you inspire and do you lead?
Now, lead, yes. I
Yes.
try to inspire.
Trying to inspire? All right, we're going to work on that one. Okay, now are you giving, courageous, and sometimes can you be both?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I want to tell you, these qualities that you bring to the table, they put you in a position of authority and power. And often they attract you to cultural interests, just as this show brings about cultural interests, politics, social issues, and the cultivation of your creative talent.
I got it right. Okay.
Yes,
I'm on
so,
track.
I'm going to bring you to the word of the day.
Okay.
That is DiBona. It is D-I, capital B-O-N-A. Now, if you look that up, do a hashtag DiBona, and you will see this word brings about a lot of powerful words, meaning, and it says a lot about, I bet, a lot of us. So let's
I think
hashtag DiBona, D-I, capital B-O-N-A, and then also hashtag stage 729.
All
And that's
right.
our word of the day.
I love it.
Yes.
Thank you, Sabrina, and thank you all for being on the panel. This is Talk It Up, and we enjoyed having you. We'll be right back with our next guest, Tamkia Nicole, with the Do-It-Yourself Vision Board. And welcome back to Stage 729. We have with us Tamkia Nicole, who is also a friend of the show, and she's going to be doing a do-it-yourself project with us called a Vision Board. Welcome, Tamkia. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Good to see you, girl.
Thanks.
Okay, tell me, first of all, how did you get started doing vision boards?
Honestly, vision boards to me has been something that I've been doing for years. One of my friends, we're cool. You know, she did a vision board party before she relocated to Georgia. And this was years back, and I was so mad because I wanted to go because I really wanted to see, what she was talking about as far as doing a vision board. So when she put her photos up on Facebook, I was like, that's interesting. I want to try something like that. I'm a very visual person. So if I could see it, it makes me go harder, as opposed to me just talking about it or for me just to write it down or something. So when I seen that she did that, I just started doing certain things. I'm like, I got all these magazines around, so let me get to cutting out some stuff and just start putting it on the board.
Well, now, what should a person get out of their vision board? What should they actually get? Is it inspirational? Is it encouragement? I mean, what should they be getting out of a vision board?
Well, it's dependent upon the person and what they're seeking. Me personally, I get motivation, I get inspiration. It makes me go harder for my goals. I could write down my goals and I could say my goals over and over again, but if I don't visually see it, it doesn't make me do anything. So to me, it's more of a motivational, encouraging, inspiration, like you could do this type ordeal.
Okay, now, I know you throw parties, vision parties. So now, tell people kind of how and what they need to do in order to throw a vision party. And then we're going to jump back and see if they want to get with you to host one. What do they have to do? So tell them, what do they need first of all?
Well, this has been my first year actually throwing a vision board party. Normally I do them by myself. I'm not one to be like, hey, you want to do a vision board party? And they looking at me crazy because I'm just one of them at home cheap, and I like to do stuff. So this was my first year throwing a vision board party. I normally throw one at the end of the year so we can all get fresh and ready for the new year to begin with. So this year I just got a whole bunch of my girlfriends together, of course, with you being there.
I love vision boards.
So I went to Dollar Tree. I purchased about 10 poster boards. You could get 2 for $1. I got some markers, I got glue sticks, I had some old magazines, and of course some of the girlfriends brought their old magazines as well to share with other people. And we just all got together, had some nice little cocktails, we talked, we laughed, we had some snacks, everybody brought their own little dish to share with everybody, and everybody created their vision on what they wanted 2016 to look for them.
As you know, I didn't bring mine, but I never share mine with anyone. That's the reason why. But I'm going to send you a photo and have you analyze mine. And then people can have you look at them, can't they?
Yeah.
Just to see what, what your vision board is made up of. And if you need to make some adjustments or make some suggestions, you can do that for them.
Well, see, that's my thing. I try not to make suggestions. This is your vision. So I can't tell you, what to not have on your vision board and what to have on your vision board.
Okay.
It's whatever you vision. This is your journey. This is your thoughts and your goals that you want to reach. So it's never a yes or no answer or that's right or that's wrong. It's pretty much whatever you're going through and whatever you want to bring to life. Everybody's not going to understand your journey.
Right.
So.
Okay. Well, show us what you have here.
Okay.
Show us a little bit what you have.
So this is my vision board that we just did in December. I try to do one now every 6 months instead of every year.
Nice.
So this is my vision board for January to June. Then I'll do another one from June to December. And pretty much it's more of a motivational board, not so much of the things that I want. This is more of my motivational board that I hang up in my office in my apartment.
So you're going to be married to the president?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm just asking. Y'all see that on there.
So I'm going to explain the sections to you real quick.
Okay.
So the reason why I got the picture of President Obama and First Lady, it's because I love the love that they have for one another. They're not perfect. They recognize their arguments and they also let people know, hey, we argue. We just like any normal couple in America. So every relationship is not perfect.
Right.
I do love the love that they have for one another though.
Awesome.
Because they do show it.
Very
so
much.
I'm hoping to have love like that in the future where one person is not afraid and they want to talk about it and they still want to work it out. That's
What about this one here?
This one says, oh, sweetie, I promised myself this type of lifestyle long time ago. You have to have self-confidence in yourself because if you don't believe in yourself, who else will believe in yourself? Sometimes that's like a motivator for me. You know how some people, they may feel down, they may get up and like, I'm feeling discouraged or whatever the case is. But when I look at that, I'm like, you know what? This is the lifestyle God promised me. So I'm going to go after it.
I like it.
So.
Now I see travel, and since we're going to be having the girlfriends fly next, I see you have Aruba on there. Tell us about this. What's
the trip? This year is to Aruba, and I plan to go. I have not been in 2 years, and this is on my agenda to make this trip to Aruba this year with the girlfriends fly.
Oh.
So that's on my vision board. That's something I will be doing this year. I also have the NBA little thing down there because I plan to go to an NBA game this year. I don't know who's going to be playing. I don't know where, but I want to go to an actual NBA game as well as an NFL game. But since the Super Bowl's coming, I don't think I'll be making that one. But I'll make one later on this year.
Well, we want to thank you for sharing your board with us and telling us how to do a vision board. I think is very important. Sometimes you got to have that in front of you to keep your vision in front of you, and this is one way to do it. So we want to thank Timkia Nicole, and if anyone wants to contact you, how do they go about it? Can they email you or find you on Facebook? I mean, how can they find T&K Events?
Well, T&K Events LLC is on Facebook, so you could definitely look up that. It's T&K Events LLC, Wedding and Event Planning, because that's something else that I do on the side. So I try to do all business on that page, or you can look me up on Instagram and T&K Events LLC as well.
Great. Well, thank you so much for sharing the board and telling us how to make our visions come true. We'll be right back with the Girlfriends Fly Travel Club. Hey, and welcome back to Stage 729. We have with us two ladies, Sharon Harden and Anisha Taylor Doyle, that are from the Girlfriends Fly Travel Club. Welcome. How are you guys doing?
Great. Thank you.
Good. Well, I'm glad you're here. We want to talk about a little bit about this travel club. How did it originate?
Well, it was classmates, and we didn't want to wait 10 years for a class reunion. Things are happening in the world every day, so we decided to go on a trip, and that's how it started. We have, I think, 8 or 10 originals that went on the first trip, and I think it's 60 strong now.
It's probably a little bit more, about 100 and so now.
Yeah.
But I do have a question. How many times did y'all take the trip on your own before y'all invited everybody to come on board?
You mean personally, how many times I've been?
Well,
Many.
I didn't want to go too far on there, but I know.
You're asking before we open it up.
Yes, before you opened it up.
Maybe 5.
Together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About 5 years. Okay, tell us some of the things that you do on the trip.
Well, I'm a water sports person. I do the jet skis, and what my job is to convince somebody to get on the back, and I pop the jet ski up so they'll scream and then beg to get off.
Oh God. Okay, so you terrorize people when you go.
Definitely, and I can't swim.
Ah. And Sharon, what about you?
Shopping.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just shopping, and there's also snorkeling, and there's cruise, sunset cruises you can go on, and let's see, there's also
The club.
Oh, yeah, you go out at
Margaritaville.
night. Okay.
go out.
Well, now let me ask you, putting this all together, how much work is it with so many women and coming from all across the United States? I know you have them from Texas, New York, California, Arizona, Peoria. I mean, how do you do it?
When we were a smaller group, it was one person responsible for booking the trip and collecting the money. And as it grew, we basically delegated people from the west, south, north, and east to handle and we don't fly out on the same plane. We just meet up.
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't mention Tisha Wooten Burnside and Cindy Gibson, because those two are original members that really coordinate a lot of it. And then they also brought in Darlene Lindsay as another person to help with the trips. So now Aruba's on for this year, for 2016, but where are some of the places that you've been already?
South Beach, Miami, Florida, the Bahamas.
Puerto Vallarta.
Okay.
Mexico.
So you've been pretty much well diverse in your travels.
Yes.
Well, we're glad that you guys stopped by to kind of give a little bit about Girlfriends Fly. I think you get a T-shirt when you join.
Yes.
Everyone gets a T-shirt.
And what goes on the island stays on the island.
You guys heard it, and that came from Girlfriends Fly, Peoria. Well, everyone, that is all for Stage 729. We'd like to thank our guests today. We enjoyed having them, and we hope you enjoyed our show and hope that it was very informative. I'd like to tell you guys 2 books that I would recommend that you read: Becoming a Millionaire God's Way and The Power to Prosper by Michelle Singletary. Thank you, and make sure you stay tuned and join us again on Stage 729. Toodles!